8th of November, what have you got for us? Some more fucking exhaustion after the last couple of days. Yes, we do have some more of that for you, my friends. Okay, let's get into it. 2:46 a.m. Sun, 15 degrees of Scorpio, Moon, 15 degrees of Gemini, and they're in conjunct, okay? The quincunx is an in conjunction, meaning that, like, it's not easy to understand this energy, right? And, like, this is a lot of overthinking, right? A lot of overthinking because 15 degrees is a Gemini degree. Gemini is Gemini, okay? And ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is in fucking Sagittarius, okay? So we are, like, very fast thinking under this energy. And this is very likely... You know, there's curiosity around darkness in this space. So the dream space could be really interesting. But this is also, you know, Venus has just joined the sun in Scorpio, right, at 15 degrees. So basically right at the midpoint of Scorpio season with the sun in Scorpio, Venus has jumped in. And we're about to like hit a fucking Mercury retrograde through Scorpio and Sagittarius. So one-on-one relationships are coming under the fucking microscope, right? So this curiosity and this kind of really difficult and hard to understand kind of in conjunct energy, and then that sesquiquadrate at 3:28 a.m., right? Those two things, it's like the story of needing to be open to finding information, but then try to not understand it logically and not overthink it, right? Because Venus at 0 degrees of Scorpio, that says that you're just at the start of this like emotional detective work that you're doing. So stay open and curious, but don't lock anything in yet, right? And then we get to this next one, this moon squaring the node at 4:20 a.m. And this is about like your own security when it comes to the information that you're gathering, right? And it's like this kind of acceptance that you will hopefully get to, but it like there's a conflict of interest in it because the moon in Gemini at 16 degrees, right? It's open and curious and gathering information about security and about like nurturing and about the home space, right? And then the North Node represents like discomfort zone, right? Play something new, something that we haven't experienced, right? And it's in Pisces. So I want you to go with the flow, but it also involves spiritual and emotional things, right? It also involves having to integrate trauma, right? And so it's like, I'm curious about my own like nurturing and stability and stuff, but like, I don't really like the idea of being like in a discomfort zone, right? And that's where that friction comes from, because then we need to take that emotional curiosity and we need to move it into this place of like, oh, I got to go into the discomfort zone, right? And then stress and then fucking stress, okay? 4:24 a.m. stress, 12:51 p.m. stress. Okay, stress. So the first one is more of an inner stress, okay? An inner stress where you're sort of being asked to stop being so fucking obsessive and compulsive about like your emotions and what you require, right? Like it's like a weird energy where you've gotten stuck in a mentality around what you need. And like that is an old mentality because Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius, it says like, hello. And this is like the second time that we have experienced Pluto at 1 degree, right? Because we retrograded and now we're forward motion again. And until we get to 4 degrees of Pluto in Aquarius, we're like going over some shit, right? That has occurred in the last year, right? We're going over it. So we're probably somewhere between November last year and February right now with this Pluto energy, right? So that time period, you need to be letting go of what you thought you fucking needed because you are somebody else now, right? And so then this Venus at 1 degree of Scorpio, we're at the next step, aren't we? The next step on the fucking Venus journey. And that the same thing needs to happen here because a decision needs to be made about how you're going to go on this emotional uncovering kind of a journey in your one-on-one relationships, and it ain't going to be fucking comfortable, right? And what it's going to require, 1:02 fucking, which way am I pointing? 1:02 p.m., right? Curiosity in the darkness, right? Step 1, and being ready to go on a fucking journey of curiosity. Okay? So you need to let go of whatever you fucking thought you were going to find and just be open to finding whatever you're going to find. Which, like, great. Thank you so much. You can get a bit more information about what that means if you put your chart up against this info. So if you want my help, come and find me and we can book an appointment and do that. But then we get to this Venus square Pluto, 2:43 p.m. I mean, if you have been keeping some shit in the dark, it's coming out. Okay. This aspect is particularly aggressive, in my opinion, because Aquarius energy can be quite cold. Scorpio energy doesn't fucking trust anyone. Pluto is about the darkness, and Venus is the heart. 1 degree is an Aries degree. So this is very much about really wanting to uncover a truth, but not really doing it in a very fucking nice way. Okay. And this could be the beginning of the ending of a lot of one-on-one relationships. And this could really be something that affects the greater collective when it comes to money, when it comes to particularly money that is handled on technology, stock market sort of stuff, that sort of bullshit, fucking pretend money. What is it called? You know, the fucking Elon Musk's pretend money, whatever the fuck that is. This is the kind of energy that can fuck that shit up. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. Not a great day. Not a great day for the fucking money, right? Because Uranus is going to, what did I say? 1:19 p.m., right? So by this stage, by the time this nonsense is kicking off, this fucking Venus square Pluto is kicking off, Uranus is back at 29 degrees of fucking Taurus, right? So this is going to be a money problem collectively, like within the world, all right? Now, 4:14 p.m., this is a really interesting aspect to come after that square to Pluto, because it is very much about allowing your authentic emotional space to lift up the weirdo that you put away as a kid, right? So that collective energy of Venus squaring Pluto on a very personal internal space, that energy is very much about accepting who the fuck you are within a relationship dynamic through a moment of friction, okay? And then it's like coming through that moment of friction, which could be a fucking battle zone, right? Coming through that and then finding yourself and being able to understand where that person was hiding because of a childhood wound, right? And then we get a semi-sextile, which is allowing us to kind of look at that family space and how it sort of had authority over us. And then we get this, like, something needs a compromise between like what we felt guilt and shame about and our mentality around our emotional space. And then this square to Saturn could be also fucking brutal. This could be like an emotional battle with someone in authority in your life. This could be someone that you should have told to go and get fucked. You might have needed to tell them that in the last couple of years, and now you've got an opportunity to do so. This is like curiosity, but from a point of my emotional state. And this is like a moment of freaking like friction that like demands action, right? And it's going to need you to let something go that you think other people don't need to see about you. And in doing so, you'll feel much safer and much more nurtured as you move into the fucking future. You feel so much more secure, okay? That sun trying the node, that's happening then, like that's finally the sun moving at 16 degrees of Scorpio, which moves it from being like curious and fast moving into like a bit more of a slowed down emotional security kind of placement, right? So feeling secure within your own darkness so that the discomfort zone doesn't seem so fucking scary. Okay. Big energy, mate. Huge. Anyone who has got a Chiron in Taurus, this Uranus in Taurus is going to fuck your shit up, and it's going to remind you that you're having a Chiron return next year when Chiron moves into Taurus. I highly advise anyone with a Chiron in Taurus to get a full birth chart reading, because you want to know what the fuck is going on before you have a Chiron return. Okay. So yeah, come and book an appointment if you are interested, if you want my help. Otherwise, you know,